analysis I would need to be discounting. I will be discounting. Remember, we have what we call discounting of cash flows. And when we are discounting cash flows, we must always appreciate the pattern. We must always appreciate the pattern of the cash flows. If, for example, somebody promises to give you 10, year 1, he gives you 10 million, year 2, he gives you 10 million, year 3, he gives you 10 million, year 4, he gives you 10 million. When these cash flows are this even, we call such cash flows, this kind of a pattern, we shall be calling it an annuity. Right? Lakini je ukipata, for example, mtu anakupromise year 1 akupatie 10, year 2 akupatie 15, year 3 akupatie 12, year 4 akupatie, for example, 16. So you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that these are cash flows which are what which are fluctuating. And when we have our cash flows fluctuating like this, these ones here, we shall always call them what here, somebody irregular. We shall call them irregular cash flows. We shall be calling them irregular cash flows. Now listen and listen to me very well. Annuities are also known as what here? They are also known as uniform. Annuities are also known as uniform cash flows. And the most important thing is for us to know that when we are discounting irregular, we shall use what we call PVIF. Whenever we are discounting cash flows that are wobbling, cash flows that are dancing, fluctuating like that, we shall be using what we call PVIF, present value interest factor. Present value interest factor. And then whenever we are discounting the annuity cash flows, we shall be discounting them using PVIFA. PVIFA is present value interest factor of an annuity. Present value interest factor of an annuity. So what kind of notes have you taken there, especially those ones who say they have never seen this face before? The thing that you have taken there in is that whenever we are discounting annuities, the regular cash flows, we use PVIFA dash present value interest factor of an annuity. And whenever we are discounting irregular cash flows, we shall be using what we call PVIF without an A. PVIF basically is an acronym of present value interest factor. It's an acronym of present value interest factors. And gentlemen, without getting really so thorough, so deep with this, I would want to take just a minute, because I know there is a group of students that I'm really disappointing by repeating this. Although I'm not disappointing you, even if you know these things. Remember what I always keep on telling you. These things, we must keep on repeating them. Because for now, you know nothing. And even the nothing that you know it wrongly. All right. So then what is the formula of PVIF? The formula of PVIF, ladies and gentlemen, PVIF formula is 1 plus R raised to negative N. Anytime they talk of PVIF discounting factors, we shall be using 1 plus R raised to negative N. In CPA part 3, this advanced level, we must master the formulas. We can't rely on the tables. So for PVIF, we shall be using 1 plus R raised to negative N like that. How about PVIFA? PVIFA will be 1 minus this smaller formula. 1 minus the smaller formula. 1 minus the smaller formula divided by what here, somebody? Divided by R. 1 minus the smaller formula divided by R. 1 minus the PVIF formula divided by R. So R, ladies and gentlemen, this is supposed to be the normal R, for required rate of return. My handwriting is very poor. Don't start copying my R like that. No. Write your normal R. It is the required rate of return. And this required rate of return is what we call the cost of capital. Is what we call the famous COC, cost of capital. Now, I would want to take a minute break kidogo. Muniambie wanafunzi wageni, mumeandika kweli mpaka hapa kweli. Wanafunzi wageni, mumeandika mpaka hapa. Please try chatting up with me. Mmefika mpaka hapa kweli. I'm so sure I'm a bit fast, but you have to really bear with me because it's something that I've repeated severally. Tuko pamoja. Daniel Oduria, I've never had that name as well. Yes, tunakufuata. Thank you very much. Good to see you live. Great. Here we are. Perhaps you've been seeing me on YouTube. Now here we are live. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now listen and listen to me very well. I shall be using this in my simulation analysis. I shall be using this in my simulation analysis. How shall I be using this in my simulation analysis? So first of all, I would want to introduce this concept of simulation. Remember what we said in our last class, that simulation, to simulate is to imitate reality. To simulate is to imitate reality. To simulate is to imitate what here? Reality. And basically we say that we normally simulate reality, basically amongst those many things that this simulation will help us to do, to achieve, is learning. We simulate to imitate reality, and in most cases, ladies and gentlemen, we shall be using this simulation for purposes of learning. All right? For purposes of, in this case here, looking at the real scenarios, life scenarios for learning. And I gave you a very good example. If, for example, you go today to some road, or rather to some good driving school, when you go to some good driving school like AA, they will give you, in this case here, what we call a table roundabout. A table roundabout. They take you on the table, they give you a roundabout, drawn like that. And then they'll use this table roundabout here to train you a few things here and there. It is only fake driving schools, in this case, that take people directly to road practice, right, without teaching them the theory, right? So use these theory classes here to basically imitate reality. So they'll tell you, hey, young man, get this car from here, and then you go and park it to some, park it in some place on this road. So you see, at first, you really know nothing about the rules. Unakabebanga katoyo, unakabeba juu, unakaekelea wapi? Unaambua hapana, hii ni barabara wewe. Kwanza umesimama wapi hapa? Umesimama mahali mbaya kwanza hapa. Lazima kwanza ukuje, upige mataa kidogo, uangalie kuna namna gani ujue na keep pande hiyo. So depending on really the road you would want to join here, utakuja either ushike outer layer, etc, ama middle one, ama for example, the innermost layer, etc. So they'll use this. They're basically imitating reality for you to be able to learn how to work with these objects here before you go to real life situations. And imitations are all over. I gave you another example in our last class. If, for example, today you were to go to some hospital, like Nairobi Hospital, then, ladies and gentlemen, these guys here nowadays, we have very young doctors. They don't know what is happening with this big, I think it's because of scarcity of doctors. You get very young ladies there, very young ladies, very young gentlemen there, 23, 24 years. So akuangalia hivi, akuambia wewe uko na shida ya kidney. Akuambia hata siwezi kuachilia kutoka hapa, wewe straight away ni theater. Utakubali? Mimi nitamwambia we, wachana na mimi. Lazima nitafute second opinion. After all, miaka zako hizi wanacheza na kidney ya paka, wanacheza na kidney ya panya kwa shule. Bado ni wanafunzi. Ama kama wameadvance kidogo kwa Chiromo mochari, wanacheza na kidney za watu ambao wanataka kuniua. So why are they playing around with the kidneys of animals, kidneys of dead people? They would want, first of all, to really learn the processes before now they start going live like that. So simulations are all over. Hata tukiwa watoto, mnakumbuka nyinyi, mlikuwa mnacheza cha mama na cha baba. Ama hiyo sio simulation, sio ni simulation pia. Ama hiyo sio simulation. Cha mama na cha baba, hiyo ni simulation. All right? So ladies and gentlemen, here we are. I would want you to listen and listen to me very well. For business, also in business, it's very important for you to keep on simulating and ask yourself, in real life, if this happens, well, in this case, I remember when we were going to establish this RCM online college as a pure online college with my partners, we were really scared. So we used to carry out a lot of simulations in Excel. What if we go and they get 10 students, right? What impact will this have on our profitability, given our current obligations? Of course, we must be having loans. I teach finance. There is no way I can operate without loans. So what will happen if, for example, you go and get 100 students? What will happen if we get like 1,000 students, charging them even 1,000, for example, per paper? This will be coming to this much. So even in businesses, ladies and gentlemen, it will be very important for you to keep on doing simulations before you hit the road. It will really be assisting you to understand your risks Otherwise, you're going to eat a Waterloo. You're going to eat a dead end when you go to real life without really looking at the various what-if scenarios, without looking at these kind of imitations. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember, for us here in advanced level, in terms of simulations, we must appreciate how to develop random number ranges. How do we develop random number ranges? Using Monte Carlo. Using Monte Carlo model. How do we develop random number ranges using Monte Carlo? Using Monte Carlo, you write your title like that. You write your title like that. You write to your title like that. We write the title like that. And when you finish writing the title, please give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. And at times, ladies and gentlemen, when you find that I'm moving a bit fast, especially when I'm repeating what I've done in the last class, I must move a bit fast. But should you find Mwalimu moving very fast, you can either try to use a thumbs down, tell me, you guys, slow down. Or, you know, we have got various emojis there. We have various emojis. Emoji comes from the word emotion or emoticon, right? Very good ways of showing what here your reactions. So we have a very good emoji. When you are very happy, you tap onto this emoji. When in this case here you are very sad, not a problem. I'll be able, instead of you typing so many words, I would want to save you. Instead of you typing so many words, there are very many ways of communicating. Thumbs down, sad face. The one that we don't accept here is the one of crying. Never cry in my class. Don't shed tears here. We don't accept that one. Is so bad. It's so bad. Esther amesema sawa, so tuendelee mbele. So here we are. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you are given a probabilistic distribution, you are given here, for example, this X could be price. I want to go to business and I don't know how much in terms of price I should charge. I could either charge 10 or 20. And then these guys will go ahead and give you the probability. The probability of you charging 10 could be 0.8. The probability of you charging 20 could be 0.2. And then, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, they want us to, so you are required here to develop random number ranges, You develop random number. Random number, Rn stands for random number. Random number. Rn stands for random number. So they want us to develop random number ranges. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you can remember from your intermediate level, you were told that whenever you are given this kind of a probabilistic distribution, Monte Carlo told us that the first thing you need to do is to come and accumulate. So come and give us cumulative probability. Give us cumulative, so you are accumulating downwards. You are adding. We are adding. So cumulatively, of course, the first one, there is nothing to add to it. So the first one will be 0.8. Come and accumulate this there. So now accumulate this. I'll be saying 0.8 plus 0.2, which will give me 1 point what here, somebody? Which will give me 1.0. All right. Now, once in this case here, remember why am I putting 1.0? Because Monte Carlo told us that for simulation purposes, we must be very, very exact. We must be very, very consistent with decimal places. Under the even these probabilities, you can't have one being 2 decimal places, another one being 1 decimal place. No. If you have 1 decimal place, it must be 1 decimal place throughout. All right. Now come here and give us a title for random number what here ranges. Now remember what Monte Carlo told us. This is not my concept really. This is not my concept. It is Monte Carlo's concept. Monte Carlo told us that the digits of random numbers really depend on the decimal place. That if you've got 1 decimal place, then you're going to be having what we call 1 digit. 1 decimal place, you're going to have what we call 1 digit. 1 decimal place, you're going to have what we call 1 digit. So 1 digit means 0 all the way to 9. So 1 digit, single digit. I know you have not understood this. Listen, If, for example, we talk of 2 decimal places, so 2 decimal places, we shall be having 2 digits. So 2 digits is 00, 2 of them, all the way to 99 like that. All the way to 99 like that, 00 all the way to 99 like that. So these are like rhyming words for those of you who did English just the other day. Rhyming words, 1 decimal place, 1 digit, 2 decimal places, 2 digits, like that. I know you'll understand this when I start making the demonstration. When I start making the demonstration, ladies and gentlemen, here, we have, ladies and gentlemen, here, listen, this is 1 decimal place. So 1 decimal place, this is what I'm going to use. And this is what I'll do. My first class will start from 0 all the way to the upper limit. How do I get upper limit now? Listen, raise your antennae. How do I get the upper limit? To get the upper limit, we shall take, ladies and gentlemen, to get the upper limit, we shall take the number that is here as if it's a whole number. We shall take the number that is here as if it's a whole number. That is 8. To get the upper limit, you take the number that is here as if it's a whole number minus 1. Minus 1. So 8 minus 1 gives me 7. 8 minus 1 gives me 7. Now listen, I'll repeat this. Repeating this is my work. Listen. Look at how I'm going to get the next number. The next number, the next range, the next class, it will be starting from the next number after 7. The next number after 7 is 8. So 8 all the way to 10. You read this as if the decimal is not there. 10. 10 minus 1. 10 minus 1, that gives me what? Yes, somebody that gives me 9. Like that. That gives me 9. Now listen, and listen to me very well. I would want to repeat this. First of all, it will be very important for you to take cognizance of the fact that we have only 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place. So if it's 1 decimal place, then it will be the 0 to 9. 1 digit, 1 digit. So then I'll go 1 class at a time. We start with the first class. So the first class must always begin from 0. Now listen, how do I get the upper limit of the first class? It's very easy. To get the upper limit of the first class, what I need to do is to come and take this as if it's a whole number, as if it's a whole number, as if the decimal is not there, which is 8. So I take this as if it's a whole number, 8, I deduct 1. So 8 minus 1, that gives me 7. From there, I go to the next class. I go to the next range. The next range will start from the next number after 7 on the number line. After 7 on the number line, I'll get 8. So 8 all the way to 10 minus 1. 10 minus 1, which gives us what there, somebody? Which gives us 9. Now, can I give you one question you try on your own? Let me give you one question you try on your own. But before I start giving you the question, it is important for me to ask whether I can rub this. Can I rub this? Can I rub this? Thumbs up. Thumbs down. Or Y, yes, you can write Y for yes. You don't have to write the whole of it. I also don't have time to read. Thank you very much. So I can rub this. This is so interesting because I'm so sure nobody will get this right. This is so interesting because I'm 100% sure that there is nobody who will get this right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. If you have here X, for example, this X here could be price. So this price, they have given me price of, say, 11, 13, 15. They have given me their probability distributions, 0.20, 0.30, 0.50. So I would want you guys to do me a favor. This is example number 2. I would want you guys to do me a favor. Please give me the random number ranges for this probabilistic distribution, and I'll give you 1 minute. I'll give you 1 minute. I'll give you 1 minute. Please. I can see Leslie. Leslie, you guys have very good names. How I wish I was still in that age bracket of getting children. I would have given my children very good names out of some of the names that I normally see you guys are having here. Yes. 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 All right. All right. All right. All right. All of them in this case here are getting very good answers. The first thing that they have told me is that, Mwalimu, you know what? The very first thing that you'll have to do according to Monte Carlo is to come and appreciate the concept of cumulative what here probabilities. So cumulative probabilities, we have 0 point, we are accumulating, we are simply adding, putting together. So if you put this there, you'll get 0.50. When you add these, you'll get 1.00 because we must be consistent with decimal places. These are 2, 2. So you can't just come and say 1 there. It has to be 1.00. After that, ladies and gentlemen, then you will come and give us what we call random number ranges. So random number ranges, what do we have here? Random number ranges, random number ranges. Thank you very much. Josephine, I've already seen your figures. So remember the first range must begin, but now you can't say 0. It has to be 00 because of what are the 2 decimal places. Because of the 2 decimal places. So we have here 00 all the way to the upper limit. The upper limit here will be 20. 20. You can't start making that a high school argument of telling us that, you know what, this 0 is not significant. No. For us, when we see these guys giving us 0.20, then it means that the level of accuracy is how many decimal places? It is 2 decimal places. It is 2 decimal places. So then it will be 00 all the way to 20 minus 1. So 20 minus 1 gives me 19. 20 minus 1 gives me 19. From there, ladies and gentlemen, I will go to the next second class. The second class will begin immediately from the number that is here. So the next class, sure, Doreen, the next class will begin from 20 all the way to 50 minus 1. 50 minus 1 gives me 49. From there, we have 50 all the way to 99. 50 all the way to 99. Thank you very much. Keep. So I'm waiting to get a thumbs up for me to continue now, or a thumbs down for purpose of repeating. Please don't raise your hand. Don't raise your hand. If you raise your hand, it means you want to ask a question. If you raise your hand, it means you want to ask a question. And instead of raising a hand, when you have a question, I would rather you write Q. I would rather you write Q there. I would rather you write Q, then I'll be able to know so that I can give you a chance of unmuting yourself. Okay. So the ones raising like Wamalwa, I've asked you to unmute yourself so that you can get a chance of talking to us then. Go ahead and unmute yourself. I've asked you to unmute yourself here. If you have a question, if you don't have a question, you simply lower your hand or say, okay, great. So I think she was telling us she's okay. Oh, my sound is not clear. Is it a problem from my side or from her side? Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear Mwalimu? It's clear. And always, as I always keep on telling you, please try as much as possible to buy Safaricom bundles, to buy Safaricom Wi-Fi. All the others don't work. All the others are useless. Useless. They always keep on, in this case here, disappointing you. Always work with Safaricom. Any other network, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Any other network is a problem. You can see all those students who are saying it's clear. All of them are using Safaricom. All of them. Nobody's using Airtel. Nobody's using Airtel there, or yeah. Great. November 2016. November 2016, question number 1, boy. November 2016, question number 1, boy. November 2016, question number 1, boy. If you have that question, please, once you get it, throw it to our WhatsApp group. Take a photo, throw it to our WhatsApp group. Throw it to our WhatsApp group. November 2016, question number 1, boy. SKB. SKB. There are always two great questions of simulation that you need to do. We have SKB, and then we have another one called Galanema. So I'll do one in class, you do the other one as an assignment. Share the link to my email. Which topic? It's called simulation analysis. Is there somebody who can help me share this link? This link to the email of the student, the link to Zoom, the link to Zoom to someone who is requesting to have it in the email. Perhaps they want to use their laptop. That is a friend of mine from Rwanda. Now I have students here from Rwanda. I have my own from Southern Sudan. I have this other one here from Qatar. For sure, now we are becoming a strong regional college. The only thing I'll do next time, I'll put in my app or in my account a provision for these international students to be sending me dollars. Now I want dollars. No, I'm buying time for you to tell me that you have gotten the question. I'm buying time for you to tell me you have gotten the question. Page number, I'm using a very old revision kit. I'm sorry, I'll have to also buy a new revision kit. This I'm so sure cannot help. It's page number 11. It has to be around 11 to 15, around there. It has been shared on WhatsApp. Thank you very much, Kip. So we are told they're required. Remember, this is a subject that is, ladies and gentlemen, killing. Oh, okay. This is a subject which is killing so many students' dreams outside there. Students are really failing. And one of the things that makes these students here fail, it's because they don't really have the know-how of tackling CASNEB AFM questions. The biggest way of appreciating your questions is always to start by reading the requirement. Always, in any question, start by reading the requirement. Start by reading the requirement. Using the following random numbers, perform 10 simulation runs of the net present value of this project. So for purposes of my class, I would want us to change this a little bit. I would want us to perform 3. So please change there. You say perform 3 simulation runs. I'm doing 3 because I repeated it. The moment you've understood even 2, then all the others will be flowing. So for us, it will be 3 simulation runs because of time. Even CASNEB has reduced the study time from 6 months to 3 months. We must also get away of reducing our operations. All right. So using the following random numbers, perform 3 simulation runs of the net present value of this project. So they are telling us SKB Limited is considering a proposal to manufacture a new drug named Millennium. The drug will be manufactured using a machine which will cost 13 million. The cash flows and the drug life relating to Millennium have been estimated as stochastic exogenous variables with the following distributions. So they have given us the cash flow distribution, probability distribution. They've also given us the drug life in years, probability distribution. And then they have given us the minimum required rate of return from this investment is 16%. 16% is 16%. So this 16% is our COC. The 16% is our COC. COC is cost of capital. The company has approached you as a financial management expert or a consultant. So the examiner is calling you a consultant. Don't let him down to perform an analysis of the above project. So the first thing I'll do, I heard from what the question was asking me. The question wanted me to simulate. And the first process of simulation is the one that I've just shown you, the one of assigning random number ranges to probabilistic variables. So first of all, start by identifying the probabilistic variables. There are 2 of them. So we start with the first one. The first one there is cash. The first one there is cash. The first one there is the cash flow per annum. So the cash flow per annum is the first one. Cash flow per annum could either be 1,000, we have 1,500, we have 2,000, we have 2,500, we have 3,000, we have 3,500, we have 4,000, and then they have given us the probabilities. The probabilities are given there. Probabilities, we have 0.02, we have 0.03, we have 0.15, we have 0.15 again, we have 0.30, we have 0.20, we have 0.15 like that. Then they've given me the drug life. We have the life of the drug. We have the life of the drug, which in this case here is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10. So please, they have also given us the probabilities. I'll be able to expand my board a little bit. Don't worry. So the probabilities, we have 0.05, 0.05, we have 0.10, 0.30, 0.30, we have 0.25, 0.25, we have 0.15, 0.15, we have 0.10, we have 0.03, 0.03. The last one, which you guys are not able to see, is 0.02, 0.02. So let me expand my board, my whiteboard. My whiteboard has to be expanded. Great. Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you have been able to, passing this paper really is not even, you don't need some magic, no. They are free marks, what we call low-hanging fruits. So like the first lowest hanging fruit, when I mentioned that, I remembered that some time back I visited Kitui. These guys have the best mangoes in the world, all right? Best mangoes in the world, right? So low-hanging fruits, low-hanging fruits, low-hanging fruits. So this low-hanging fruit is the one of getting cumulative probabilities downwards. So please go ahead and give us cumulative probabilities. Is there somebody who has been able to do that very fast? Cumulative probabilities. Is there somebody who has been able to do that very fast? We're accumulating them downwards. So this will be 0.02, 0.05, 0.20, 0.35. I'm simply adding. So we have 0.65, 0.85. We have 1.00. Unaweza saa mwingine sababu ya usingizi atakuja anza kusema 1 point. Wewe probability haiwezi kushinda 1 point. Haiwezi kuwa more than 1. These probabilities, these distributions are independent. So I need to come and start the cumulative probability for the next one. So then we have here 0.05, 0.15, 0.45, 0.70, 0.85, we have 0.95, we have 0.98, then we have 1.00 like that. 1.00 like that. So I would want to know whether we are together. I would want to know whether we are together. Great. So once, ladies and gentlemen, I have been able to get the cumulative probabilities, then what I need to do is to come and create a column here for random number ranges. So I have here random number ranges. So random number ranges, we are really running this thing down, given that these are 2 decimal places. So this is how my random number ranges will look like, 0, 0, all the way to the upper limit. Can somebody give me the upper class, upper limit value for this one? Very good, 0, 1, thank you very much. Because if I remove the decimal, this will read as 0, 2. So 02 minus 1, that gives me 01. They have to be 2 digits throughout. You can't just write 1 there. The next class then will be 02. 02 to what somebody we are following. 02 to what if you are following. 02 to what somebody we are following. 04. Thank you very much. 02 to 04. So from there we have 05 to what year? Remember, I'm skipping after this number 04, I have 05. So now go on ahead and give us the next upper limit. They're telling me 19. Thank you very much. 20 minus 1 is 19. Next class will be 20 all the way to 34.